I think it's live now.
Yes.
Please. Now, actually, you have to adjust the camera. Just little adjustment of camera, please. Focus, spotlight should be on me.
It is already focused. You may continue.
Okay, great. So, Dr. Sunil Patek ji also, they are great. Well, so my dear viewers, I welcome all of you on this very, very August program of Education Pe Charcha. This is the 56th session of Education Pe Charcha. You all know this is Vivekanand, an author, academician, and a public intellectual, in collaboration with Dr. Sri Surendra Patek ji, an adjunct professor of Vidyapeeth of Gujarat, and of course Sri Pramod Kumar Jha, in collaboration with Drishti Talks with Sri Pramod Kumar Jha. We are organizing this very, very important, spectacular program, that is Education Pe Charcha, this being the 56th session. My dear viewers, Education Pe Charcha is nothing but equivalent to educating the nation. And it's become very, very important because today, before I start introducing my very, very esteemed and august guest, it becomes very important to talk about Mithila. Because today, when we are showcasing Sandeep University of Sijal village in Madhubani district, in the heart of Mithila, it becomes very, very important that to speak about Mithila, what exactly is Mithila all about? Because Sandeep University, over a period of time, has come to be inextricably linked with that of Mithila. My dear viewers, a couple of centuries ago, a great scholar in Mithila was born, who had given his own introduction, which over a period of time has come to be associated with that of overall scholarly excellence of that of Mithila, the scholarly showcasing of that of Mithila. What he had said in the court of the Darbhanga emperor, that becomes important. I quote the quotation of great Sankara Misra. He said, Balohang Jagdanandang Name Bala Saraswati Apurne Panchame Barse Barnayam Jagatriyam. I am not even 5 years ago, because when he entered into the court of Darbhanga, all the court members, they started mocking at him. They started deriding upon a child's entry into the court. Then that very child said, Balohang Jagdanandang Name Bala Saraswati Apurne Panchame Barse Barnayam Jagatriyam. I may be a small child, yet to complete my 5 years of age, but nevertheless, I do have the prowess to describe the universe. That is the glory of Mithila, that a small child, Sankara Misra, had showcased in the famous place of Darbhanga, which is the citadel of Mithila, which was the citadel of Mithila in the olden times. So this is being the Mithila. Now in the very recent years, you can say the hallmarks of Mithila over a period of time has been pan, makhan, and machli, that is fish. But now a Sandeep University, the first private university of Bihar, has come to symbolize the pride of Mithila. So Sandeep University today has become a brand ambassador of Mithila, because it has been propagating the overall values of Sankara Misra across the length and breadth of India and even abroad. That is the glory of Sandeep University, which has come to glorify and symbolize the uniqueness and spectacular brand of Mithila and Maithils, because Mithila is always known, or has always been known, as a citadel of scholars, where from great scholars have been born, and they all brought glory. They glorified the Punya Bhumi of Mithila. So therefore, I would like to inform those people, my viewers, who are not adequately familiar with the landscape of Mithila, that Mithila throughout the year continues to be immersed or inundated by the flood. Amidst that sort of flood, there has been an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, Dr. Sri Sandeep Jhaji, who dared to bite the bullet, and then he manifested a university which is nothing but a showcasing of a grandeur and of course the scholarly excellence of Mithila, because Mithila has been a citadel of scholars. My dear viewers, today I do have an immense pleasure to just quote even a small incident to give you an idea as to what Mithila, the land of the land inundated by rivers, used to be around before independence. This becomes very important to inform my viewers that before independence, Mithila's overall condition was really deplorable. It was absolutely tragic and pathetic. People used to live, under the water, you can say. So the matter reached the British Queen, Her Majesty government, and Her Majesty government taking cognizance of this overall importance of the particular place, and she sent her representatives to Mithila. And moment those representatives, they devoted the train, and what they saw, the sort of spectacle that they witnessed, really took them by huge surprise, because they found, to their horror, that entire landscape was immersed in water. So they inquired from the people, or you can say those inhabitants, that what about this? This looks absolutely a nightmare. And they were informed that millions of people were living, under waters, which had absolutely bedeviled that particular land of Mithila. The representatives of Her Majesty government returned to Britain, and they made a special request to Her Majesty government that, Your Highness, on your request, we have visited the place called Mithila in Bihar, that is in India, and to our utmost horror, we found millions of people were trapped in waters from, Kosi, Kamla, and different rivers. They have no source of livelihood, and therefore we strongly recommend to Her Majesty government to sanction a specific fund for the people of Mithila. My dear viewers, British government indeed sanctioned a particular amount of fund to the tune of 40 crores of amount. In those times, you can well understand, but by the time when the fund reached Delhi, India became independent. Mithila never got that particular fund. It was channelized towards Punjab for building of Satluj and all, for constructing the dams in Satluj. Mithila got not even the peanuts out of the specially earmarked funds from British government. That was the overall condition of Mithila. You can well understand the land which remained inundated by flood throughout the river. There, a man who dared to bite the bullet, picked up the gauntlet and constructed, a sort of a grandeur, really a bedazzling spectacle of a university that is in the remotest part of Mithila, that is in the village Sijal in the Madhubani district. And today, as before the kick-starting of this session, I was having one-to-one communication with a dynamic Vice Chancellor, who is our very, very venerable and august guest on today's spectacular show, Dr. Sri Sabir Barmaji. And lo and behold, he informed me just in 4 years, from 25, 30, 28 students, he has got the overall tally of students to the tune of 3,000 in number. Can you believe that? It came to me as a bolt from blue. And that too, we all know from 2020 to 2021, and we all suffered from the chronic issue of, that COVID-19. We all stayed indoor, and even within that sort of time, the tragic time, Sandeep University in Sujal had been working tirelessly. Kudos to the Vice Chancellor. Salutation to Dr. Sandeep Jhaji, really an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs whose heart rents for the people of Mithila. I, from the august platform of Education Pe Charcha, salute Dr. Sandeep Jhaji. And of course, my heartfelt, salutation to, you can say, our esteemed honored guest today, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Sandeep Barmaji, for the manifestation of the grandeur of that of Sandeep University amidst flood, and that too it is the showcasing of the all sort of scholarly brilliance of Mithila, one of which has been eternal citadel of scholars. So this was a brief introduction of Mithila, my dear viewers, along with that of Sandeep University. And my dear viewers, I take this privileged opportunity to inform all of you that I have already had the pleasure, we have already had the pleasure of hosting another Vice Chancellor of Sandeep University City, Nasik. But here it is a Mithila. I belong to Mithila. Of course, I am born and brought up in Calcutta. So I am a brand ambassador of both Bengali cultural legacy as well as Mithila cultural legacy. I am also an author of world popular book, Yes, I Am Bihari, which was launched by Nitish Kumarji in 2016 on Bihar Divas, and the living legends of Mithila, where I glorified all 25 people from India and Nepal. So this is my brief introduction. Now I am coming to our own introduction of our our very august guest before the question answer session starts. He is Dr. Samir Kumar Verma, Vice Chancellor of Sandeep University, Sijol, village Sijol, and that Madhubani. And BC Saab has informed me before the commencement of this program, when the university was actually established, there was no direct route to university. You can well understand the remoteness of the place. But today there is a viable and a thriving road that leads to the university. University within 4 years has been showcasing all its grandeur that speaks or describes about the beauty of Dr. Sandeep Jhaji, really an entrepreneurial mind with a golden heart to serve Mithila and Maithils. So this is Dr. Samir Kumar Verma ji, Vice Chancellor of Sandeep University, teaching experience of 35 years, research experience of 17 years. Now, I'm just, sir, I very much welcome you on this august platform of Education Pe Charcha. You are really a brilliant man, and we salute you again, because over a period of 4 years, you could manage to take the university from that of 28 students to that of 3,000. As you informed me before the commencement of the session, you deserve kudos from Education Pe Charcha. Now, this first question goes in this way. Walking down the memory lane, if you could dig out some past incidents to enlighten our viewers about your sophomoric days till your graduation. Please tell us something about your students' days till you have become a graduate. Your take on this, please. We welcome you, sir. Please.
My graduation, I did it from CM Science College, Darbhanga, in botany, and got a first class. Then at that point of time, there was no postgraduate teaching in Mithila in Darbhanga. So I shifted to Bihar University. I got my degree there and topped there with gold medals. And later on, I came in service. At beginning, I started at DT College, Begusarai, under Mithila University. After 4 years, I was shifted to CM Science College, Darbhanga. I became leader there. I was the college science in charge of college science improvement program, COSIP program run by UGC. And then I was tipped for the controller of examination at Mithila University. At that point of time when I was selected for it, it was very tough scenario in examination department at Mithila University. Some elderly people may recall that here the vigilance inquiry went on. The Honorable Vice Chancellor of that time, controller of that time, and the staff of that time was put behind bar. Narrowly I escaped, and still am before you. When after some time I was transferred to Veer Kumar Singh University, Ara. This has got another university, another story, but I won't add it here. I was transferred to Bhojpur, Ara, There I became head of the department of SD Jain College, a premier college of Bhojpur area. And then I was made professor and head of botany department. I was dean there. And then I was selected for the coordinator of College Development Council, shortly named as CCDC. This was a tough job for a small place like Ara, because and as a CCDC, you have to convince the funding agencies like UGC, CSIR, and other funding agency of government, submit a project, defend it, place it and defend it, and then get the money. It was a tough job. But in my tenure as a CCDC at Vivekanand University, I'm happy to say that I was able to fetch out crores of rupees. And that was again the progressive point of the Vivekanand University Ara. In 2017, I got retired in July and went to foreign tour, USA and Singapore and all that, which I usually do. When I came in 2017, December or January, I got a call from the Nasik University, a few persons of Nasik University, that they want to meet me. At that point of time, I was staying at Patna. They gave me I met them in the education department of Patna, and gave the proposal to come over to Sijol because they are going to start in here. Of course, it was a charming offer for me, because I hailed from Darbhanga, some 50 kilometers away from Madhubani. Reluctantly, I joined. I tell you reluctantly because I took 6 to 7 months in deciding that whether I should join or not. But ultimately, when Chairman Sahab, Dr. Sandeep Jha Sahab called me in 2018 in February, उन्होंने बताया, उनकी सादगी, उनकी सच्चाई बड़ी अच्छी लगी हमको. तो हमने कहा कि ठीक है, I will join it. And after a month I joined. यहाँ ज्वाइन करने के बाद one thing we used to study in childhood, आप भी पढ़े होंगे, where there is will, there is way. इसको मैंने थ्योरी में पढ़ा था, लेकिन कभी जमीनी हकीकत से इसको नापा नहीं था. When you are made the registrar of a university, where in the university administration you have the roll number 1 in the university accession number, I joined it and started the work. Some 50 plus students were there, and later on, with the vision of the chairman sir, and one is the admin officer in between me and the chairman sir, Mr. Vivekanand, he was also in between. तो हम लोगों ने देखा कि आखिर इच्छा हो तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. बहुत सारी points थे in running the university, because you know it better than me that economically this area is very poor due to flood, as you told just now. Another is that the majority of the population, 70% population, are of OBC or lower caste communities, still far, far away from education, light of education. And the flood, recurring flood, makes the area so fearful that any investor do not want to gather a courage to invest here to erect an institution. But कभी ना कभी तो आखिर राम जी आते हैं अहिल्या के लिए ना, अहिल्या के लिए तो राम जी आते हैं कभी. And Sandeep Jha, a boy born in the Sijol camp, Sijol village itself, in the university where the university is located in that village also only. He came, pulled hundreds of acres of land, invested millions of rupees in constructions, and still the construction is going on since last 5 years. And if I'm not boasting, one can see and compare my technical laboratories with the technical laboratories of any institution in Bihar in the government. Come and compare it. The only thing was that the payment capacities of the students, because the good institution, quality education needs money, and particularly if it is integrated by the practical. But here the Bihar government came as to rescue us. They gave a plan of supporting financially the students which are come under poor level. They have got certain criteria, और उनका फीस वो भरती है. Some of the direct students are also there जो पूरे full payment पर आते हैं. लेकिन majority of the students are getting benefit of the DRC, government मधुबनी district fund करती है, और वो बच्चे आते हैं पढ़ने. And my heart is felt when in the beginning as a registrar, I was the registrar also for 2 years here. A village man who is unable to put even his signature, he used to give the thumb impression on the paper. अब वो अपने जेब से 40,000 रुपया ला के रखता है एडमिशन के काउंटर पर कि मेरे बच्चे का बीटेक में नाम लिखाओ.
Great, sir. And actually, we have got so many
achievement nahi hai, sir.
Yes, indeed it is so. I have already said and you have explained in detail. My dear viewers, we can well understand here. It is a very pertinent here to just inform all of you what our august guest just now informed, because there are 10 questions and so we have limited time. I already informed BC sir. So because I was just asking or trying to know about the details of his sophomoric days, students' days. Of course, university side has already explained. My dear viewers, it is very important here to mention that is the very, Prime Minister, it becomes very important here to say, Honorable Prime Minister in course of his public speech in Darbhanga, just prior to general election in 2019, he had specially said in Darbhanga, speaking before millions of people, he said that Darbhanga, I salute this Punya Bhumi of Bihar, that is Punya Bhumi of Mithila, because of its showcasing of scholarly brilliance or scholarly excellence. But there is a scarcity of entrepreneur. I would like to see some great entrepreneur emerging from this particular land. I have a huge pleasure to say, not on account of what I know, but on account of what our august guest just now informed us, Dr. Sandeep Jha fulfills all that particular criteria about which Prime Minister was talking about. And definitely, Dr. Sandeep Jha emerges as one of the topmost entrepreneurs of Bihar. And of course, he has fulfilled the dream and the aspiration of Prime Minister for the Punya Bhumi of Mithila. That becomes absolutely apparent and clear on the basis of the explication of that of Honorable Vice Chancellor, who happens to be our esteemed guest today. Thank you, sir. I'm coming to the next question. You did your PhD on liver cirrhosis due to aflatoxin contamination in food and feeds. Could you kindly explicate on the same? Could you please explain to our viewers what these terminologies actually connote? Your take on this, please.
Exactly, exactly. You know that the fungus infection spoils the food. It spoils the grains, fruits, vegetables, everything. Organic matter, it is spoiled by the fungus. One fungus is there that is known as Aspergillus flavus. It is a very, very common fungus. And this fungus attacks the food and feed when the moisture content is higher. And if it is attacked by Aspergillus flavus, it secretes a toxic material inside it that is known as mycotoxin, and to be specific, it is aflatoxin. And consumption of aflatoxin, knowingly or unknowingly, by consuming the contaminated food and feed, even it can come through feed, because if you give the contaminated feed to the animals, it can come through the cow milk. Through milk, it can also come to you. As the environmental condition of this Mithilanchal region is quite warm and humid climate condition, with the recurring flood, it moistens the stored food and feed, stored grains. And after rain, you can see a common scene in Mithila that every household spreads in sun the stored wet materials for drying it up. That is the time when aflatoxin comes. So when I was thinking to do PhD, I thought that is a good topic. When I started it, then my supervisor, Professor Rai Abhivarma, suggested me that unless you add some practical things, it won't go much. Then I modified the topic and studied its effect on guinea pigs by feeding them the contaminated food and feed. And later on, some liver patches were seen when the animals were sacrificed after a year or 2 years or like that. So correlating the fact that if that contaminated food or feed or their preparations are consumed by the human beings or the animals, milking cows and buffaloes and whatever it may be, their liver may be infected. Liver cirrhosis may cause the death. And I was appreciated much about that at that time. My identified was the Professor Nagarajan of Madras Mycotoxin Research Laboratory, and he appreciated a lot. And at that point of time, some of the papers appeared in Mycopathology. That is one of the important papers coming out from the Netherlands and some of the Indian journals also. And I was in CHARCHA, like education pe CHARCHA. I was in CHARCHA at that point of time. But later on, frankly speaking, you won't get a reward of the research you have done in Bihar. No appreciation. आप आईने के सामने खड़ा होकर माला पहन लो अपने आप से और जिंदाबाद कर लो. That's all.
Great. Actually, Professor Barbaji, my dear viewers, you have see the confidence of the man, which is apparent from his face. My dear viewers, I have immense pleasure because I too traced my genesis from Madhubani, and just beholding a professor with all sorts of, who is an embodiment, personification of confidence, indeed gives me a great pleasure, because I want to see Sandeep University not spreading its wings across India, but it should be a world-class university at par with that of Nalanda, glory of Nalanda University, ancient India. And here is a Vice Chancellor who is actualizing that particular vision of Dr. Sandeep Jha, an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Professor VC sir. Coming to the next question, sir. It just come to the next question. Your field of specialization has been mycotoxin and mycotoxicology. Could you elaborate on the same for our viewers, please? Your take.
Yeah, mycotoxins. Toxins simply means the poisonous substances, and it is produced by fungus. It is called mycotoxin. Myx means fungus. Mycotoxin. Mycotoxicology is the study of the effect of the mycotoxin. Mycotoxin is a large group of chemicals secreted by the fungus. Aflatoxin is one of them, but it is not only one of them, it is most important of them, because it is very common in Bihar and warm, humid climatic conditions. So mycotoxicology, it could not flourish in Bihar. In Bihar, earlier in the 80s, its work was started at Bhagalpur by late Professor K.S. Bilgrami, and then at Darbhanga Mithila University by me and by my Professor Rai B. Verma. But it could not went well later on. However, recently, I told you earlier that a Makhana a conference was there in my university, that Makhana people came here direct. When the meeting was over, he was quite impressed with our performance and all that, and he asked me to give a platform for the interaction and to do such meetings. And I asked him that I want to work on the safe storage of makhana, because it is also highly susceptible food commodity and very much susceptible to the fungal infection and aflatoxin contamination. And he wholeheartedly accepted it. Dr. Verma, we need that. A lot of consignment from Bihar going to abroad, even in Mumbai and Delhi, it is rejected due to the contamination of the aflatoxin and the mycotoxin. So please come over to my office and we will help you.
So
But लेकिन एक बात तो है कि आखिर समय किसको है?
Great. My dear viewers, this becomes very pertinent for me to provide you with a piece of information. I have had the great privilege and the pleasure of visiting Sandeep University in Nasik in the year 2010, where I had the greater divine privilege to address over 1,000 students in the august presence of an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, that is Dr. Sandeep Jha, who himself was a witness to my speech there. And by the grace of divine, it remains unprecedented, because I delivered my speech in English to 1,000 students without mic. That was a record, some sort of record created at Nasik. Now BC Saab invites me to come over to, that is Sujan.
Yeah, I will invite you.
Great privilege for me to address the students community, professors under the, and to salute Dr. Sri Sandeep Jha and our august guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for all sort of exemplary work, because this is nothing less than an exemplary work, because the glory of Mithila is showcased at a global level by that of Sandeep University under the acumen, the leadership of that of Dr. Sandeep Jha, and of course the intellectual inputs and brain provided by none but the august guest of ours, Dr. Sri Samir Barmaji. Thanks a lot, Proper VC sir. I'm coming to next question, sir, because now only what we know about the university that you are presiding over in the capacity of Vice Chancellor. My next question goes in this way. You are presiding over as the Vice Chancellor of Sandeep University, Sijol Madhubani, which is the first private university of Bihar. Could you explain our viewers its avowed mission and vision? Please, your take on this.
देखो, actually, before coming to this institution, initially I served it as a registrar, because at that type of I was appointed. There was no university on the table. It was in the paper also only. The government has given an NOC that you established. So I was appointed as a registrar. Before being the registrar, truly speaking and frankly and honestly speaking, I didn't have any vision. But when I sat on the chair, discussed with the Dr. Sandeep Naranja, met the poor people here, the enthusiastic village students who do not know even the proper English to interact, because in Bihar, मैट्रिक में अंग्रेजी में पास होना जरूरी नहीं है. So you can know that they don't have the communication ability in English at least. जब मैं इन सारी विषमताओं को देखा तो मुझे लगा कि नहीं, मुझे कुछ करना चाहिए. And then we started doing the things for the benefit of the students, taking the courses of their benefit, and the agriculture and the MBA and the BBA and the BCA, which are the small courses with a little amount of investment, can get a place in the market, job market. And a few days earlier, one driver is Buchu. He told me BTech graduate from Sandeep University has also been absorbed in somewhere in Himachal Pradesh. He got a job. This is a great thing. This is a great thing. One thing. Another thing is that we often say the dictum of women empowerment. We are doing the women empowerment. A lot of things come in the social media and the print media and all that. Actually, we do the women empowerment. You know, then in whole of the campus, hundreds of sweepers and maintenance persons are there. साफ सफाई, बाथरूम, टेबल, कुर्सी, बेंच, बोर्ड, रजिस्टर, इसको तो आदमी लगता है ना. And all the persons working on this course are women, widows, destitutes from the village of Sijol. केवल महिलाएं. जहां मेरे एक मुंबोली बहन है, एक दाई, 4 फीट की होगी सर, और उसका हस्बैंड आज से 10-15 साल पहले चला गया, छोड़ के कहां गया मालूम नहीं. उस लड़की, उस महिला का क्या होगा जिसको घराड़ी छोड़ के कुछ नहीं. But she is serving in my office or jhadu bar, and she gets 8,000, 10,000, whatever it may be, I don't know. तो लोग वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट की बात करते हैं, हम लोग करते हैं.
Fantastic. My dear viewers, we salute Dr. Sandeep Jaji and of course BC Saab. See the kaleidoscopic perspective, the altruistic mission, The university, apart from being a brand ambassador in terms of showcasing the educational or scholarly excellence, it also has a vision of women empowerment, about which our VC Saab had just informed that how, you know, the woman, the destitute woman who basically has been left in a forlorn state, nobody there to cater to her, you know, she, you know, has managed to get a source of livelihood from that of Sandeep University. That itself, you know, is a glowing tribute to the man, you know, of this particular mission, that is Dr. Sandeep Jaji, who is, you know, is nothing but, I would like to dub him, and I already dubbed him. My dear viewers, it becomes important because I am so much influenced by Dr. Sandeep Jaji, because the work that he has done in Mithila. I wrote an article which has become hugely popular, the, you know, the man who dares to bite the bullet. And, you know, you'd be surprised, because that particular article, you know, defines the vision of a man whose heart rents for Mithila. And what our august guest says, that all the articles, the contents get invariably and unimpeachably corroborated by our august guest. Thanks a lot, BC Saab. I'm coming to next question straight away. You are having several courses in your university, including B.Ed and so many other courses. What about the quality of faculty, its pedagogy, and the different extracurricular activities for the holistic development of students? Your take on this, please.
Yes, that is the big point. That is a big point. The holistic development of the students. The world is small, but it is very, very big world. In our university, which is simply 3.5 years old, 4 years old, with 2 years of COVID effect period. However, department-wise, we manage the activities of by the students under the guidance of the faculties. For example, the management department manages a heart. A heart in the department. People come from the different departments and the villages. They चाय वाला अपना कुछ लोग करता है बिजनेस का, छोटा बड़ा बिजनेस स्टार्टअप. Similarly, agriculture department comes with some of his ideas of increasing the income of the farmers, to double the income of the farmers. So we do it. But of course, to my satisfaction, it is yet to go ahead, miles to go ahead. Because the infrastructure point is very important, sir. We are going to have shortly in December, we shall commission a world, international standard playground of international standard. We are going to have. We have got the gym facilities. We have got the other facilities for the development of students. But what is there that due to some reason, I don't know, the specific faculties for the yoga, for the football, trainer for the football, for the hockey, for the other drama, for the photography, we don't yet, we have to have. Because पहले मैं पेट भरूं या सेंट लगाऊं?
Yes.
यही जवाब दो. And this is, but we are doing in that and we shall succeed. And when आप मेरी जब अगली बार मिलेंगे, हम लोग कभी मिलेंगे, तो हम आपको बताएंगे कि इस दिशा में हम लोग क्या काम कर रहे हैं. दूसरी बात यह है कि जो अच्छे ट्रेनर हैं, कोच हैं, they don't want to come to a remote village. They अच्छे faculty हैं. Market is always open for them. They can apply anywhere that I'm working as an assistant professor in Sandeep University, Sijol. He immediately get absorbed by some fellow, some institution at Kanpur, Lucknow, and other places. And we, for this, ये भी एक बड़ी समस्या है. So we will have to frame a policy, hire to retire.
Yes, yes.
But we will have to go a long way. Hire to retire. We have to make the foolproof arrangement for them. We provide all facilities for them so that they should not think to going away.
Great.
And
great.
we are planning, and the chairman sahab always tells that Verma sahab, hire to retire. जिसको लाओ उसको रिटायर यहीं से कराओ. लेकिन है क्या कि if a teacher gets 5,000 rupees increment at a particular place, and we cannot check. That is the point, sir.
My dear viewers, what VC Sahab has said, it just readily came to my mind decades back. One of the regional managers of a very corporate house, I was just interacting with him. He just informed me that when he went for an interview with a Munjal group, the chairman of the Munjal group had straightaway asked him a question that how much salary you want. It was 2 decades back almost. So he said that 40,000 are required. The concerned chairman immediately said, why do you think that we should pay you 40,000 rupees? Kindly, because what Vice Chancellor Sahib has just said, I am trying to correlate with that particular incident through my own anecdote. You know, the question again, I am reiterating the question that chairman of Munjal Group asked, that why do you think we should pay you this much money that you are demanding from us? The answer of that particular regional manager was, because I know how to retain the people.
That's the point.
Question of hiring the best quality people is always possible. As what BC Sahab has just informed, market is open. But then it is indeed a daunting challenge, a humongous challenge to retain the people and hire to retire, as the very nomenclature suggests. Definitely will suit Sandeep University, because it is going to be a national, it is already a national brand, and it will expand its footprints across the globe. Obviously, this policy about which he had spoken undoubtedly has to be a foolproof, and they are working in that direction. And we wish him all the best for this. I'm coming to next question, sir, straight away. Very, very important question. And we don't want you to be insinuating. We want your direct response to this question. What about the placement opportunities? First thing it comes when students get coming to it. Question is not over. What about the placement opportunities? Do you think the placement opportunities provided by you can induce confidence in the prospective students that they might prefer to enroll with you rather seeking their enrollment elsewhere? Because students from Bihar, you would appreciate, Mr. Vice Chancellor, Professor Verma Sahab, that students from South India is basically surviving on the earnings from students from Bihar and UP. If Sandeep University can stop the students from going out of Bihar, it will be a big hub of educational activities. At the same time, it will be a huge revenue generation for Sandeep University. So this question is very pertinent and very relevant. Please, your take on this now.
Sir, running a private institution in Bihar is really a challenge. Because आज कोई भी ज्ञानी बनने के लिए नहीं पढ़ता, नहीं डिग्री लेता. A guardian invests 50,000 rupees on a student with the hope that it will give, when he comes in job, he will give a return of 1 lakh. So the It is the liability of the responsibility of the institution, university, to make a powerful, a good placement platform and to remain in contact with the persons who implement this. Fortunately, for this, we have a bigger platform than the other universities in Bihar. We are two at some Madhubani and some Nasik. Both of them come together. He also tries some companies. We also try. We make a common platform. If they come for the management of that Nasik, next time he will come for BTech then he will come in agriculture, like this. But this is a very, very challenging and tough job, really. But we are trying, and we have a placement cell and we have a placement people, and done. We do it.
My dear viewers, what this is very, very relevant and pertinent, because industry, where the prospective students from institute are looking for the opportunities or for the outlet, that particular industry has been sinking, because there is industrial growth has been slackening. So because of this decline of the industrial growth, obviously the employment opportunities too is getting shrunk with the passage of every day. So therefore, what VC Saab has said, I'm absolutely in agreement with his statement in both letter and spirit, that with the shrinking opportunities in industry, it becomes a humongous challenge for the universities, even like Sandeep University, to get a proper placement for the students. And until unless the industry expands, it would really be a daunting challenge for the universities to provide adequate and corresponding opportunities for their students. Of course, VC Saab has been very honest to acknowledge this very, very grim reality. Thank you, sir, for being so forthright in acknowledging the truth. And that exactly is the ground reality today. I'm coming to the next question, VC Saab. Very, very important question. Sandeep University in Nasik has been functional for years, whereas your university has been new, comparatively newer. Do you think that within 6 to 7 years, means now you have already made it clear, I did not say, since 4 years your university has been functional. Do you think you have already given the answer, more than it is justified, you have already justified it, but still I wrote the question before. So how you have justified the brand value of Sandeep University, because Sandeep University in Sijol can mobilize students from across Bihar, different parts of India, and also different parts of Madhesh. That is the part of Nepal which is inhabited by Indian diaspora, especially from Bihar community. So this is a great opportunity for Sandeep University. I wanted to bring it to your kind attention, because even Madhesh region, Sandeep ji is becoming a brand name. My article on Dr. Sandeep ji was viewed by large number of people there in Madhesh. So that area can also be tapped by Sandeep University. So how do you think you should go about it, sir? Because you have a huge base of students. Please, your take on this.
Sir, I should honestly quote here some provisions made in NEP, Rashtriya Shiksha Niti. According to that, if we have to survive in the market of education, we have to provide employment. And if we have to provide employment, simply generating and distributing a degree won't do, unless you give the market, job market, what they require actually. So we are thinking Of course, I am yet to discuss all these things to Honorable Chairman. लेकिन मैं चाहता हूं कि हम लोग इंडस्ट्रीज, 2-4 इंडस्ट्रीज के साथ बैठे, मैं और नासिक दोनों, टेक्नोलॉजी, tailored course of culture. If someone wants to do a floriculture only, we will give a floriculture person connected to the floriculture.
Okay.
And similarly, other as per the demand of the market, demand of the job market, we will tailor our syllabus. We are planning to MTech and BTech syllabus. We are going to tailor it, but it will take some time. 1 year, it will take time, and then we will be the number one in the education arena of Bihar.
Okay. Great, sir. Of course, you have been so honest and forthright. We really appreciate it because, you know, that exactly has to be done. The syllabus has to be tailored according to the market requirement, because as you are very, correctly you said that students basically go for, students are always interested only for the jobs, and the market is already job driven. So therefore the universities have to tailor their syllabus according to the job driven market. Thanks a lot, sir. I'm coming to the next question. BC Saab, stay to the next question. This is, how do you plan to shape Sandeep University as an institution of excellence in tune with the new age entrepreneurial vision of the founder chairman of Sandeep University, Dr. Sandeep Jaji? Please, BC Saab. Hello. Hello. Is my voice audible? Pramod ji.
Yes.
VC Saab is there?
No.
VC Saab is not there?
Quite... No.
Oh, maybe because of some technical snags. I think he'll just resume. He'll just join, maybe some sort of connectivity issue.
Pathak sir is there.
Connectivity.
Pathak sir, namaste.
VC Saab has joined. Has VC Saab joined? Namaste. VC Saab join किए क्या?
पाठक सर नमस्ते.
नमस्ते भैया, अभी तो ज्वाइन नहीं किया VC साहब ने.
तो आना चाहिए सर, कुछ कनेक्टिविटी इश्यू.
ज्वाइन कर रहे थे, उनका इंटरव्यू चल रहा था, अचानक से उन्होंने, शायद उनको कोई डिफॉल्ट हो गया होगा, इसीलिए अचानक से उन्होंने.
हाँ, he will join. I think you will resume it, I'm sure.
8 बज गया है, इसलिए हो सकता है छोड़ दी.
Okay, so VC Saab is not there. Okay, no issue. Maybe because of connectivity issue, my dear viewers, VC Saab is unable to log in, or it got snapped. I would like to inform.
उनको कॉल कर दीजिए झा जी.
VC Saab has.
उनको यदि आप कॉल कर देंगे वो ज्वाइन कर लेंगे, है ना?
Actually, no, I don't think that, maybe because of some connectivity issue, he has failed to join, but no issue. It is almost, we have taken, just only one question was remaining, but unfortunately because of connectivity issue, maybe he might join while the process will be on. So what is important, my dear viewers, today we have had a very, very engrossing interaction with that of the Vice Chancellor of Sandeep University, Dr. Samir Kumar Barmaji. And of course, my dear viewers, by way of a conclusive remark, I would like to say, in fact, I have already equated Dr. Sandeep Kumar Jha with that of Sankara Misra of Mithila. The way Sankara Misra had described about the scholarly excellence and brilliance of Mithila, the same way, similar way, Dr. Sandeep Kumar Jha has been showcasing the glory of Mithila in 21st century by virtue of bringing into existence, such a, great university, which is nothing but a showcasing of the talent, or you can say erudition of Mithila. That has been the really pioneering contribution from an entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, Dr. Sri Sandeep Jha. My dear viewers, it becomes very important, pertinent for me here to make an announcement for our next guest, who is, also a dynamic youth. leader, Sri Amit Kumar ji, who already worked with Sri Prashant Kishore, and today he is working as an executive in Germany Parliament. In the Parliament of Germany, Mr. Amit Kumar is working with the Parliament of Germany, and he had already worked with Mr. Prashant Kishore. He is going to be our next guest on Education Pe Charcha on 6th of August 2022. And now it is a time to pass on to Dr. Sri Surendra Pathak ji, to just sum up our today's interaction with our honorable guest today, that is Vice Chancellor of Sandeep University, Sijor Madhubani, Dr. Sri Samir Verma ji. I now invite Dr. Sri Surendra Pathak ji for just summing up the gist. Yes, Dr. Surendra Pathak ji, please. Dr. Surendra Pathak ji. Surendra ji. Dr. Surendra Pathak ji. Pramod ji. Hello. Pramod ji.
हाँ
Dr. Surendra Pathak ji नहीं है. He is not there.
नहीं, वो भी चले गए.
So Pramod ji, आप just please submit up today's discussion, today's program. I invite Sri Pramod Kumar Jha ji to sum up today's engrossing discussion. Please, Pramod Kumar ji. Pramod Kumar Jha ji.
नमस्कार मित्रों, श्री विवेकानंद झा जी और संदीप यूनिवर्सिटी सिजौल के कुलपति श्री वर्मा जी, आज के इस पूरी वार्तालाप में हमने ये समझने का प्रयास किया कि जिस प्रकार से संपूर्ण देश में निजी विश्वविद्यालयों की एक बाढ़ आई हुई है और वो एक व्यापारिक केंद्र बना हुआ है, बड़े पूंजीपतियों ने प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज को अपना एक कमाई का अड्डा बनाया है। ऐसी परिस्थिति में मिथिला जैसे डिप्राइव्ड इलाके में, जहां विद्वानों की बहुत बड़ी श्रृंखला रही है और जहां दुनिया को 6 दर्शनों में से 4 दर्शन दिए गए, कई वांग्मय हैं। हमारे पुरखों ने वाल्मीकि रामायण और इस तरह की बहुत तथ्यात्मक ग्रंथों की रचना की, जिसमें मिथिला सदैव बना हुआ है। मिथिला एक जीवंत भूमि है और उस भूमि पर उस भूमि के पुत्र ने एक प्रयास प्रारंभ किया है जो स्वैच्छिक सेवा के कार्य की तरह सुनने में और समझने में आता है। व्यावहारिकता की स्थिति जहां तक है, ये बात समझनी पड़ेगी कि व्यवहार सफलता के कारणों से संभव हो पाता है। हालांकि विश्वविद्यालय की आयु अभी 4 वर्ष से ज्यादा नहीं हुई है और 2500 के करीब विश्वविद्यालय में छात्र हैं और अभी वो निर्माण की प्रक्रिया में है। हम आशा ही नहीं, विश्वास रखते हैं कि मिथिला की भूमि जितनी कर्मठता की भूमि रही है, शालीनता की भूमि रही है, विद्वता की भूमि रही है, जहाँ जिस भूमि ने हमें विवेकानंद जी जैसे महान लेखक चिंतक दे करके हमें गौरवान्वित किया है, आज उसी भूमि में जिस विश्वविद्यालय से हम आह्लादित हैं, ईश्वर उनकी बुद्धि ठीक रखे, व्यापार में मिथिला को न घुसाए और शिक्षा को सदैव सजग प्राणवान बनाकर रखे। इन्हीं चंद शब्दों के साथ माँ मिथिला को प्रणाम करता हुआ, जगत जननी सीता के चरणों में शीश नवाता हुआ, अपनी शैक्षणिक परंपरा और चारों पीठ के शंकराचार्य और मंडन मिश्र को स्मरण करता हुआ अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ। भगवती से प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि भगवती मिथिला के सभी सचेतन महापुरुषों को वैसी ही चेतना दें, और विवेकानंद जी से प्रार्थना करता हूँ सरस्वती जिस प्रकार से आपकी लेखनी से प्रवाहित हो रही है, उससे जग कल्याण के जिस संकल्प को लेकर आप चल रहे हैं, भगवती आपको उसमें सहयोग करे, आपको समृद्ध करे, आपकी भाषा दिग्गंत में बहुत ही प्रभावशाली और प्राणवान हो। आपने मुझे ये अवसर दिया, मुझ जैसे अकिंचन से इस विद्वतापूर्ण वार्तालाप में मध्यस्थ करने का काम सौंपा, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thanks a lot, Sri Pramod Kumar Jhaji, for all sort of collaboration that we are able to conduct such a spectacular education. My dear viewers, once again, I would like to make a reiteration of the particular announcement pertaining to our next guest, Mr. Amit Kumar Ji, who already had the opportunity of working with Sri Prasant Kishore, and today he is an executive in Germany, in the Parliament of Germany. He is going to be our next guest on 6th of August 2022 at 7 p.m. again. We'll be back again with all of you. Till then, we wish you goodbye. And of course, I feel that whoever has been already logged in, or who eventually will log in, they will be the genuine beneficiaries. With this, I return you to studio. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to Pramod ji. Thanks.